Hello, and welcome to another episode of Greatest Scene Ever. I'm Greg, and he's Kylos, just two professors here at American University talking film. In our show, we explore film through a series of genres, then we break down why certain scenes are truly great.
And today we're continuing with our theme of troubled cops with a true classic. This one is everything: corrupt cops, a morally challenged protagonist, and a role of a lifetime for one of the greatest actors of our time.
Not to mention an actor known for chewing up the scenery, Al Pacino. We're going to take a look at 1973's Serpico. Let's take a look.
Wait a minute. You know, Frank, sometimes I ask myself, what the fuck am I doing? You know, if this ever came out, Christ, my family. My daughter. She just started with the San Francisco Opera. Chorus. Took a lot of money. I once tried to pull out. Christ, they were all over me. So, you just go along. Unless you're willing to go back to uniform duty. Shit, how the money rolls in. Here, let me give you yours now.
I'm not on.
What do you mean you're not on?
That's what I said. I'm not on. I don't take money.
Some gag here.
No, I told you straight. I don't take money. That's the truth.
What were you doing with Rubello?
Ask Rebello.
So, I love this movie, but something
I knew there was a but there. You
well,
had that
no,
look on
here's
your
the
face.
thing.
You know, there's
I
Gene's looking at
can't-
you, but, you know.
Well, no, it's not. This actually isn't a but. I think it's kind of it's a good thing, but it's interesting to me that I think at this point I've seen caricatures and spoofs of the Serpico character more than I've ever seen the film. And I can't see it without seeing 3 to 5 moments I've seen on, like, from It's Saturday Night Live to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where someone spoofs the outfit, the beard, the hat, the voice, to like the whole thing. Yeah. And actually that's a good thing because it's so loved and it kind of holds up that we can make fun of it in a loving way. But I can't see it without in the back of my brain laughing at various moments where I've seen it, you know, spoofed, basically.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's an iconic film, and it's wonderful sort of on that level. And it's great to see Pacino in a great role. Remember, this is the year after the first Godfather.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So this is post-Godfather. Pacino is sort of discovered in Godfather. He'd certainly acted before that, but this was, Godfather's really his breakout film. You could almost argue, though, that this was his breakout film.
Right.
Because you have actors who have one-offs, who have a great, a great starring experience in a film. But then their next film, not quite so much, not so much as they sort of move their career. And it kind of goes down, and that was their peak. Here's Pacino, who knocks it out of the park. I mean, you know, he's really sort of the centerpiece of The Godfather. I mean, you know, everyone talks about Brando, but it's really Pacino's character and the changing of that, which is The Godfather. And so here's Pacino, after that film, following that up, who was picked up in, okay, let's put him in a cop film. Let's see how he looks here.
Well, I think that actually...
And he does extremely well.
If we're talking about sort of the trajectory of Pacino, which, of course, I really do think, as though there's a lot of great things about Serpico, it rises and falls on Pacino's shoulders, really. If you take The Godfather, Serpico, and like Dog Day Afternoon, and think about that, it's sort of a trio of films early in his career that really showed this guy's got range. This guy can be put in a number of different characters. And really, really hit it out of the park before it seemed to become later in his career that he's almost just a caricature of himself.
It's such a strong personality.
Yeah.
And you could argue that Al Pacino plays Al Pacino in every role Just about, because it's the same kind of you're out of, I'm out of, the whole system's out of order, like to do the whole thing, rah, 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 hoo-ah, the whole thing, this whole Pacino kind of thing, This is part of his persona, but that's the thing that translates. That's what audiences go to see. So when we say things like, Pacino really plays himself every time, it's really somewhat of a compliment, I think, for most actors. Paul Newman did the same thing.
Sure.
John Wayne was the same way. There are very few chameleon actors. You and I were talking earlier about Tom Hanks, for instance.
Tom Hanks also. I think that, let me put it this way, there's times when I feel like it's a compliment to the actor's ability, that they can sort of play themselves, but it fits into so many different molds and moments.
Yeah.
And then there's other people, when you say, oh, they're always playing themselves, where what you're really saying is they don't bring anything new to anything they do. So we have some actors
That's a good
that I
distinction.
think their versatility is in them, is somehow built into themselves. With Pacino, and we mentioned Tom Hanks off camera before, and you just mentioned
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman. Paul Newman's a great example. His entire career, there's not a lot of variety in the way he approaches some of these characters, but somehow that persona of Paul Newman can be dropped down into almost any type of archetype, and it works.
And speaking of Paul Newman actually and Robert Redford were just coming off success of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid when this film was casting. And it was originally a vehicle for them.
That would have been such a different film.
Such a different film. Paul Newman wanted to do this with Redford in the Serpico role, and with him in the role of, I think, Bob Blair, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Bob Blair, who was the lawyer.
Right,
But
right.
as the great quirks of who's available and who does stuff, and at whatever, the roll of the dice is this went to Pacino, and you see certain films and you can't imagine it in anybody else's hands. Well, as usual, too much to talk about in too small of a time. That's all the time we have for now. But do check out our other episodes on Troubled Cops in our web series.
And as always, we want to mention that you should check out the full-length versions of these films. These scenes are always much better in
Always,
context.
right. So we'll see you next time on Greatest Scene Ever.